man. Gotta make a question real quick for you guys. I don't know why they make it to where these fucking things on the road, you just barely veer off the road and it's automatically you gotta hear all this fucking noise. And driving in the middle of the night with nobody on the fucking road, you get a little bit more liberty to move around. I mean, I don't know, why does it have to be right on the fucking line? Why can't it be just Jesus Christ, whatever. Anyways, point of the story is this. I have a question, and somebody might be able to answer it, I don't know, but the question is this. So, if you have so basically if you take two stopwatches, you place them at different elevations, and then start them at the same time at the exact same moment, and then go back and check them later, then they'll be running at different times. So they'll be at different points in time, and that's because of the way gravity affects time. So I have this question, and there was this thing that came on. There was this thing on it that I was reading a long time ago, and they were talking about twins. So if you had twins and they were at different elevations, then they could meet up later in time and they'll be different ages. But the only thing about that makes me wonder is this. Okay, did the twin who was younger or older when they met back up, were they experiencing time faster? So in other words, losing time, like basically, I don't know if you've seen that movie, for that scene from the movie Beetlejuice where they get up on that table and they just become old real quick. But basically something like that, where you're basically you're going through the aging process faster, but your mind is perceiving reality at the same speed as somebody who isn't going through time faster. Okay, that's the first question. Is that going on? Or B, is it that they are meeting up at different points in time? So in other words, if they had never left the same elevation, then, you see what I mean? Like they're meeting up, but they're basically in parallel universes. Are they in parallel universes? Are they in alternate dimensions? In other words, are they meeting basically different versions of themselves? Because you're basically catching a person who's time traveled. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So is that going on? Whereas their perception of time is basically uniform in and of the fact that, relatively speaking, I'm in a higher elevation right now. I'm doing a road trip. As I go to this higher elevation, is it making it seem like the trip is taking longer as I go into higher elevations? Or does the time pass the same? Does the time pass the same, but only to me, relatively speaking, but to an outside person, their time is the same, but so nobody's getting cheated of any time, but you're basically in an alternate dimension of each other. And I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about it. But then there's also, people that go into space. I was listening to this guy the other day, and he said, when you're in space, time is just real tricky. You know what I mean? He said sometimes it's like it goes by really fast. Sometimes it's like it stops. So how is zero gravity? How does time interact with zero gravity? That's another good question.